Be strong. Unfortunately, the doctors just couldn't do anything to fix your face.
Alright, so I recently just rewatched the Fantastic Four movie from 2005, 20-year-old film by the way, and like when I was little, I still enjoyed the film. However, there was one character that annoyed the hell out of me while watching this film. The character in question goes by the name Johnny Storm. Like, what was he on, man? He was really feeling himself in this film.
I love these costumes. They're missing something though, right? It's like spice.
They're not costumes.
You can't use your powers in public, Johnny.
Now, before I get into it, let me just talk about the initial storm that happened in space that gave them their powers. If I had to rank their powers, I would have to rank them like this. It's very clear that the storm had its favorites and some were done dirtier than others. Like, this storm had the most random logic when it came to giving them their powers. Like, how does Johnny get the best power of being able to fly, use fire, and put himself on fire at will? Invisible Woman gets to become invisible and use force fields. Mr. Fantastic can stretch. I mean, that's fine, I guess. It ain't life-changing. It isn't completely useless. If I had that power to stretch, I don't think I would use it for much. Except if I was using the bathroom and I had the horrible realization that I didn't have any toilet paper. Yeah, that would be a great power to use. And then you got Ben, in which it just destroyed his entire life. Like, why? Bro gets turned into a sentient rock, basically, in which he loses all sense of normalcy. And as a girl, like, bro, that is so unfair. He gets constantly stared at like a freak and a monster because of the way he looks, so he can't just be normal wherever he goes ever again, which sucks. What did the Storm have against Ben turning him into that? Especially since he can't just turn it off like the other three. He is still my favorite character though, and at one point was my main Marvel rivals, but you could say that I would get clobbered often, so I stopped playing him. Johnny gets blessed with basically the best power from the Storm, and he lets that get into his head. This dude really got the nerve to start dissing the powers of everyone else.
That's gross. I'm gonna need therapy.
No! You don't want this to get worse.
Worse than that?
Like, bro, I know you ain't talking. This is the same dude that was snowboarding down a mountain and not noticing that he was literally on fire and then crashing inside of a mountain, dropping his corny ass line.
Care to join me?
Don't get me started on his reaction to realizing that the storm caused him to have the powers that they have and that it probably isn't reversible. Like, what is that reaction, bro? Borderline psychotic if you ask me. Like, Reed, Sue, and obviously Ben are somewhat distraught by their newfound powers like any normal person would be. And this dude is laughing it up. That's how I know this dude is crazy. And this man was an absolute fiend of Ben Grimes. I mean, Johnny was already dissing Ben before his appearance changed because of the storm, but after, oh boy, that just ramped up by 100. If Dr. Doom wasn't the main villain of this film, it would be Johnny, because of how many wisecracks that he was throwing at Ben after him trying to figure out how to live his new life in his rock form. Like, let him breathe, dude. Johnny was making this guy's life suck even more than it already was. You got Johnny pranking him with the cream in the face, him taking his bowl of freshly squeezed fruit juice. Like, why? Ben always struggles to eat things because of his giant-ass hands, and this was the best that he could come up with in this condition. Meanwhile, he just decides to yoink it away from him. With fire powers, mind you. I mean, you don't even need a stove at that point. I could be making scrambled eggs with just a pan in my hand with the snap of my fingers. But nah, let's bully old Ben, and on top of that, tell him he can't get any uglier. Like, damn, bro. And that's not even the dirtiest thing that he did to Ben. Gotta love when he decides he can't stay in the house anymore and decides to go out and go on national TV. Then he does some stunts on his dirt bike and shows off his flame powers, but I'm not done yet. And then when he is getting interviewed, he decides on his own accord to give the Fantastic Four members their own names. He has the audacity to claim himself as the leader of the Fantastic Four and then name his members. That's crazy. To be fair though, I thought this was hilarious seeing that Johnny was the one that chose their names as a team, and it just kind of stuck with him. Like, that's kind of funny. But anyway, Reed and Sue get okay names, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Girl, but change Invisible Girl to Invisible Woman because that is no girl.
She's so fine, she done pissing me off! How are you that fine?
But then Johnny has the audacity to call Ben Grimes the Thing. The Thing, like, obviously now that sounds normal because that's a superhero name that he goes by. But if that was me, I would be pissed. Like, imagine having to get used to your outer appearance as a superhero, and then you got this dweeb Johnny just adding insult to injury by calling you the Thing. You mean like the horror movie The Thing? The creature from outer space thing? Like, he ain't ever living that down. Everyone who saw that is going to see Ben from now on and say, hey, that's the thing. The thing. Honestly, I don't blame Ben for crashing out after seeing that one from Johnny. He gets so pissed that he goes to find Johnny to beat him to a pulp. So you got Johnny walking out like he's all that, like he's the best thing since sliced bread. Like, then Ben crumbles a car and throws it near him, but that was just a mere diversion for him to throw a license plate at his head. Now that's my boy. Then in usual Johnny fashion, he calls him Pebbles. Like, seriously, that's your best insult?
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
And the most annoying thing about Johnny here is that he just totally doesn't care about the main goal for them in this movie, which was for them to cure whatever they got from the storm and return back to normal. But no, Johnny doesn't want to be normal. Johnny thinks he's so cool. Johnny thinks everyone loves him, so he isn't going to turn back, especially according to him, since he didn't turn into a monster. I know, a low blow even for him calling my man a monster like that. Don't listen to him, Ben. You're beautiful the way you are. But Ben decides to be the better man here and just walk away since Johnny was just being an insecure prick. But then Johnny has the nerve to throw a fireball at the back of his head. You seriously didn't have the balls to throw it at his face while he was right in front of you? Of course you wait until he turns around. I swear he's the real villain in this movie.
I can't stand you!
Then he got the nerve to throw another one. This really pisses Ben off and he decides to make him fly, which I love the quip he throws back at Johnny for that. Tinkerbell. Man, my man's getting good at this. Hitting Johnny with wisecracks too, he would have sent him flying too if Reed didn't absorb the punch. I mean, Johnny was lucky that Reed was there to absorb like 90% of the blow, because I swear if that punch landed on Johnny, I think he would have been pulverized, or should I say clobbered. So anyway, Ben was obviously fuming after this interaction, which I get. I couldn't imagine dealing with Johnny, especially with all the shit that I was currently trying to deal with as Ben. And Johnny can't even read the room sometimes. Or maybe he has such a disdain for Ben that he has to make fun of Ben whenever the chance he gets. Ben and Victor were talking, and Victor planted the idea that Reed wasn't really trying his hardest to help Ben get back to normal. Which, I guess he wasn't really manipulating him in a sense, or maybe he was, I don't know. Like, Reed was taking a while to get the machine that reverses the storm to work, and instead of trying to get the kinks out of the machine he was working on, he was out on a date with Sue Storm. Which, I mean, can you blame the guy? He was just trying to fix his relationship with her since he wasn't communicating how he was feeling about her properly. I can't believe Reed almost fumbled a woman like her, like she is fine. I'm glad he put a ring on it at the end. But anyway, Ben doesn't see this though, so he storms off to find Victor, but just before he does, Johnny had to bring an action figure of him saying, "Clobbering time!"
It's catchy, right?
Damn, bro, you got the whole squad laughing like, seriously, dude, this is not the time. So again, Ben crashes out and destroys the toy before heading out, which is, again, understandable, especially with dealing with Johnny all day. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, Johnny almost killed the entire planet like halfway through the film. So Reed was trying to test everyone's abilities in the lab to see how the space storm affected them, and being able to understand this would help them find a way to cure what they have. Everyone being normal human beings, cooperating with the test and doing exactly what Reed said, made it for a smooth process. But then we got Johnny, who obviously can't be normal. Gotta be cool, show off Johnny. Reed tells Johnny to heat up just a little bit so he can analyze how his body is when he is in his flame on state. Johnny does this, which is good. So Reed tells him to heat up a little more, and then he does this also, which is also good. But then Johnny decides to heat up more, and I mean a lot more. Reed and Sue tell him to stop heating it up, but because he was about to destroy the containment chamber he was in, and he said, "I can go higher!" and then starts to increase the level. Like, what do you mean I can go higher? He knows that, genius, but he obviously doesn't want to kill himself and everyone else in the lab. The Reed and Sue tell him to turn it down a little again, but he still continues to heat up. Like, what is this dude's deal? Man is willing to risk it all just to look cool, and like, for who? You can't look cool if everyone is dead, bro. Thankfully, Reed had a safety mechanism to immediately cool off Johnny and explain to him that he would have caused a supernova. Like, one imbecile, bro. Man was about to kill himself and the entire planet so he could order farm. Forget Dr. Doom. We wouldn't have needed a villain in the story if Johnny just killed the entire planet halfway through the film. Like, what the hell? It's hilarious how the storm gave the power of fire to the most immature, dumbass character. It's like when the Genshin Impact gods decide to give the most powerful powers, again, including fire, to the most ill-equipped individuals, like, for example, a literal child. Now, I've been clowning Johnny for this entire video, but I will say that Johnny did have his moments in this film. Like, when he directed the missile away from hitting Sue and Ben in the lab, I thought that was pretty badass, and he handled it well. He also came in handy at the end when they had to defeat Doctor Doom. He's able to use his ult Supernova, comboing it with the rest of the game to take down Doctor Doom once and for all, which was pretty awesome. So Johnny gets his redemption arc, which was fine, but damn, this dude was being such an ass throughout the entirety of the film. I forgot there was a villain in this film. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to do the second movie, also with my boy, the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer, I think, is the coolest character and a heavily underrated character in the Marvel Universe, so I can't wait to talk about him more in my next video. If you watched this far, thanks for watching, and please like if you want more content like this. See you later. Goodbye.